What's going on, Jerome's? So, with the Minnesota Vikings allegedly at 1-4, a lot of talk has been about Kirk Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins potentially being moved at the trade deadline. Now, a couple things factor in. Number one, he is a free agent at the end of the season. Also, the Vikings cannot franchise tag him since he does have void years, and those years void before the franchise tag window opens. Also, Kirk Cousins, holds a no trade clause. And we've talked about the reasons why he wouldn't waive it, but would he? So, of course, one of the reasons that Justin friggin' Jefferson, that Kirk would have stayed here is Justin friggin' Jefferson, right? And Kirk looking to put up big numbers, win some games this year. With JJ, would have made things a lot easier. But with him on injured reserve, at least past the trade deadline, it sort of complicates things. Also, you are what your record says you are, allegedly. The Vikings, even though their 4 losses have been very close, still 1-4. And if the Vikings falter and they limp into the trade deadline pretty much out of contention, it's something that Kirk Cousins and his family would have to consider. But when asked about it directly from the local media jackals, who I'm thankful that they asked him about it, basically said that trade talk not worth his time. And this is what he said. This is from Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershman. Kirk Cousins provided a very Kirk Cousins-like response when asked about intensifying public discussion of the possibility that the Minnesota Vikings could try to deal him elsewhere before the NFL trade deadline on October 31st. Quote, I'm just very focused on the Bears and going 1-0 this week, Cousins said Wednesday, and anything else is not worth my time or energy or attention. Added for the first time whether there was any scenario in which he would consider waiving the no-trade clause in his contract. Cousins declined to address the premise. Now, whenever Kirk had been asked about potentially moving somewhere else, he'd always basically said, no, I'm here for the Vikings. But this was kind of like a Spielman-esque answer where he never answers it, but he just sort of speaks in parallel platitudes where it's like, I'm just focused on the Bears and all that stuff. So it's a non-denial denial. And then at the end, ignorance is bliss, Cousins said, basically talk about the noise. And I'm just really ignorant. I don't... That could be taken out of context. I don't really have access to a whole lot, and I try to do that by design, so it's pretty intentional. Aside from high school friends who may text me who they're reading, I wonder if any of Cousins' high school friends are Jerome's. I really don't know what's going on. I've been insulated at times to the point of being naive and a little stupid. That could be taken out of context. But I'd rather err on that side than consume everything. It takes your focus off what is important and what will help you play well. So that's what Cousins said. And I think as right now, I mean, Kirk is second in the league in passing yards, but of course JJ certainly impacts what's going to happen going forward. And would Kirk potentially take his talents elsewhere? Well, as of right now, I don't think that there's a clear trade market. I mean, everyone talks about the Falcons, except it seems like they're going to roll with Desmond Ridder. And with the Jets, I mean, the Jets would be a mercenary deal because it looks like they're going to bring back Aaron Rodgers next season. Zach Wilson was an in-house draft pick, and maybe they just go with him. So I don't know. As of right now, there's like a clear-cut team that said, hey, he's going to go there. But again, knocking on all the wood, not wishing injury upon anyone, but if one of the top contending teams, say San Francisco, obviously with Kyle Shanahan, or Miami, or the Bills, or the Chiefs, or whoever, like if their quarterback is alien abducted, could that open things up for Kirk Cousins? I think it certainly might, but I don't know. Either way, these next couple games are very key for the Vikings because even if they lose to the Niners, if they're able to pull it out of the fire and beat the Bears, beat the Packers, so you're 2-0 in division, head into 3-5, I think the Vikings obviously still think that they would have a shot, especially with JJ eligible to come back for the Saints game week 10. And, of course, the middle of that schedule is relatively marshmallowy on paper, and maybe the Vikings can string together some wins, and maybe that's what Kirk Cousins is going to bank on. But I don't know. Like, we've been over the reasons why he wouldn't waive the no-trade clause. I don't think that there's a perfect spot. It doesn't earn him any extra money unless they make that part of the deal, and I don't think that he would want to move his family mid-season. So those are all factors that are going in. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Kirk Cousins, actually has some pocket awareness and sidesteps trade talk questions. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.